the money that you're taking from the Racehorse Development Fund is going to go to I understand, a Nellie Bly tuition program. And I asked the Secretary of Education last week about details about it. I just wanted to ask you if you know more about it. This would be eligible for any student coming to Pennsylvania, whether they're residents of Pennsylvania or even residents of the United States?
Anyone attending Apache University.
And they would get $8,000 to $10,000 a year. If you take the numbers, we're thinking each year there's no means test?
No, there would be. It would be based on financial eligibility for a grant program. If you're grant eligible through FIA standards as
and
well.
if they stay in the state, the loan, they don't pay it back. If they leave the state, it becomes a loan?
It would convert to a loan, yes.
Interest rates?
Yes, I'm not sure what the interest rates were. The Department of Education would determine that.
How do you collect it?
They would have a mechanism to collect it.
And how do you know they leave?
I mean, I think they have ability to track whether they're in Pennsylvania or not.
And this is a grant every year for every year they're a student?
Yes.
And we see graduation rates at 60% over a 6-year period. If they don't graduate, they have to pay it back?
I believe it converts to a loan.
So I appreciate you saying that the governor wants to invest, the administration wants to invest in keeping students in Pennsylvania. I absolutely agree. We're losing young people, as you know. But I would just point out to you that I think what keeps young people and what attracts people to Pennsylvania is opportunity and jobs. And by taking this money out of the Racehorse Development Fund, you're threatening 23,000 jobs. So it would seem to me that the better route would be to create a healthy economy and opportunities for young people. And Nellie Bly herself went to New York City. So, but I appreciate your, at age 23, by the way, I appreciate your answers on that. I wanted to shift to the banking fund. As you know, the banking fund comes from fees the banks pay in addition to all the other taxes they pay. Your proposal is to take $21 million from this fund to go to general operations of DEP and DR. What's the rationale for doing that? We have lots of funds that fund environmental agencies. Why not take it from some of those funds?
We have language in the fiscal code that allowed us to have $45 million in transfers, and we felt there was $21 million available in the banking fund.
Is it going to hurt the banking fund? The banking fund's there to protect consumers, protect banks against defaults?
It is, but we don't believe there will be any harm to any program within the banking industry.
And do you think that it's do you think that it's wouldn't? I guess you don't, but I think it'd be more appropriate for you to take money from the funds that are there to help the environment and take the money. You objected to that. I just heard earlier today one of my colleagues objected taking money out of environmental funds. Wouldn't it make more sense to take money out of the environmental funds to fund the environmental programs?
And we're using those environmental funds to fund those environmental programs. And as I mentioned, the fiscal code language gave us the ability to determine where the $45 million in fund transfers came from.
There's still a lot of money in the environmental funds, though, right? I mean, there's still
there is
considerable
funding
money
in the environmental funds, yes,
that aren't being used or may be used in the future, but not being used now. I also just want to point out that these banks are paying lots of other taxes as well. I mean, they pay real estate taxes and bank share tax, corporate net income tax. I mean, all those things. I think this is and are important to our economy. And that the banks are the ones loaning money to the small businesses, to the entrepreneurs, to the people who we're trying to attract to. So I think that's misguided, and would hope you would reconsider that, as well as look more into the Racehorse Development Fund and not rating that. And back to that, does the administration have the legal authority to take the money out of the trust fund?
we would need legislative changes for that.
Okay. Thank you for your time.